Good morning. How are all of you doing? Um, it's funny. This is a video that I've been wanting to do now for a few weeks. It's been brought on from about a year of just deep thought, a lot of reflection, and it's been a great year overall. It has, but at the same time, it's been a very tough year. Um, During this year, I lost my dad. I lost my best friend, both to cancer, and it makes you reflect because everybody talks about cancer and fighting cancer and the cancer walks and everything, and I mean it's a very serious, sad thing. But until it really enters your life, you really don't make time for that. So this end of 2019, I was forced to make time for that, for my dad first, which was a little bit easier, surprisingly, because he was far away, and it's because he was far, we didn't have the closest relationship, so it made it a little bit easier. But I was able to uh, do a lot of reflection with him, talk a lot with him, things that we've never really talked about. And then with my best friend, um, that was interesting. It brought us closer. I became his basically his caregiver and his chauffeur and everything else until the last day. And it was tough, but at the same time, in a weird spiritual way, it was rewarding because I was able to be there and experience that. Life shouldn't always be about experiencing great times and celebrations. Sometimes you have to experience suffering and death. Um, you know, it's one of those hard truths that we sometimes don't want to deal with, and I learned a lot from it. It helped me a lot. For many of those who don't know, I've spent the last year uh, entering a spiritual path and learning about Reiki, shamanism, pranic healing, hypnotherapy, and I love it all. I love it all because those are all things that I loved helping people. I always have. I've always oddly been one of those people that people want to come to for advice. I don't know why, but they do. So I guess I try to give the best advice I can. I try to be very open minded. Uh, so I'm very honored by that. But the reason I wanted to make this little video, especially now at the end of the year, I was making quite a few, which you can see at skullandmoon.com if you just scroll down to video. This is about energy, because one thing that I was taught, especially when I was taking the shamanism class and the beginning of the first Reiki, uh, and a lot of other people that do uh, energy healing would tell me that when you start opening yourself up to this path, you will attract a lot. A lot of good energy, a lot of positive energy, a lot of positive thoughts. But at the same time, it's almost like you have that. I don't want to use the word doctor, but like that energy of wanting to help, of being open to people all the time, of wanting to be healing. And because of that, you attract people in need, you attract people with problems, you attract people that are just miserable and sad, and like I said in the beginning of this video, dying. So you know I was there for my dad, I was there for my friend, and like I said, I in a weird way, I think I attracted them. um, I had to be there for them, and I'm happy I was. Like I really am. So where I'm going with all this is something called energy. And the problem with energy is we all talk about it and you hear about it, and this it's that movement, that energy movement that people talk about. And a lot of people think we're crazy, but you have to understand that part of energy healing is being able to connect and feel the energy, and cleanse the energy and remove the negative energy and the hurt and the pain and all that stuff that we hold. And it's fascinating because the more you open yourself to it, the more you realize it exists. And it exists in everything. It exists in not just people. It exists in plants and anything with life. Gives out energy. And in my animal Reiki, it's like animals more than anything will always surprise me. Like the energy they give off is it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and when you can connect with it, it's even more beautiful. But with 2019 finishing up, a lot of people tend to question the fact that they're not happy because, like I said, you're drawn to people when you do energy healing. So everybody, quite a few people, a lot, have been coming to me because they're not happy with their overall appearance, with their relationship, with their job, with their life in general. And it's sad because everybody wants that type of healing that comes from the pill. And it's like, well, if I take this magic pill for $19.95, I can lose the weight. I can feel better. I can be more positive. I can be stronger. Love. There's even pills for testosterone, for sex, for stuff like that. And again, what I'm talking about in this video is my opinion and my experiences. So of course, there's always people who have their 2 cents and will disagree with me. I appreciate that. I appreciate that because I also love to learn from other people's opinions because I am open-minded to it, and you should be. You should be open-minded to it and not be angry and get all defensive. Like, that's annoying. Like, when I post stuff on Facebook, not many people know this, but I usually post stuff in the beginning of the month or at the end of the month, and then I really don't go back to Facebook. So it may seem like I'm always on it, but I'm not. I just schedule things because I don't have that time. So, and it's funny because I'll go back like 3 or 4 weeks later, or a few weeks later, and sometimes there's people like going at it on one of my posts about life or energy or spirituality or love or happiness or animal rescue, and I'll laugh because you have to understand, if you have a right to go on Facebook and post something, somebody else has a right to go on Facebook and post something, and realistically you just should deal with it. It's their opinion. You have an opinion. It doesn't mean you're right. It just means you have an opinion. My opinion is based on my experiences. So, in my experience, when it comes to my passion for energy healing, is the one of the times that I had to go to New Jersey to learn pranic healing, which is an energy healing, and there's just things that you go through and different test that they have you do to just, it's almost like to prove that you are feeling what you think you're feeling and you're not crazy, because I'm not going to lie to you, in the beginning you think you're insane, but it exists. And the same way that exists to be able to heal, think about it. If you're having a shitty day, you wake up and you're having a shitty day, and as I'm saying this, I know people are answering me already in their mind going, oh, just have a better attitude and you have a better day. Yes, it's that simple. And it's sad because people consider this new age way of thinking, and it's like, I'm sorry, no, it's old age way of thinking. This type of mentality, spirituality, has been around a lot longer than we all talk about. So no, it's not new age, it's old age. And sometimes, I hate to say, but it's you're like, excuse me, it's just going inward. That's all it is. It's going inward. It's not running to your Barnes and Noble and picking up a book on, how to love yourself more. It's just basically loving yourself more. And it sucks because, a lot of times our armor is dented and we allow other people and their opinions and their attitudes and their criticism to break us. And It's not easy. I understand. Growing up, a lot of that happened for me. I had the whole mommy, daddy didn't support me as much. They always made sure that there was food on my table and there was love in my home. But where I wished they would have believed in me a little bit more and been more expressive, they weren't. So that did damage me for quite a bit. And it wasn't until recently that it finally I started to connect, and like I said, go inward and become self-empowered and find self-love and realize that it's all inside of me, and it's all inside of you, and it's simple little tricks that you can do for yourself to find that love and that connection and that peace and that harmony that you have inside of you. You just have to, again, go inward. How do I do it? I meditate. And I know a lot of people are like, oh God, meditation, that's, crock of shit. And it's like, well, I've already done four guided meditations at the Grove in Milford. And I'm happy to say, actually, I'm proud to say that almost everybody, probably like 95% of the class, well, groups that have come in, have never meditated or never thought they could. And every single person has left there very pleased, very relaxed, very calm, just by simply sitting. It's not a magical thing. It's not a serious Buddhist monk on a mountain om type of experience. It's literally sitting there and going inward. And because of that, you're tapping into your energy. And when you start to do that, you start to really connect with things around you. You start to see synchronicity. You feel humbled. You feel blessed. Because you start to notice those things that do matter. Not the material, and not like, living like the Joneses next door. It's focusing on me and my yard and what's going on in my yard and in my family and in my home and my problems. And when you start to take the pressures off of what other people are doing and how they're living, and you start focusing on just your life, just you, stuff gets better. Like, honestly, it becomes beautiful. And it's a shame that, day in and day out, I meet other people who come to me, their lives are miserable, and I'll tell them, the basic thought, it's just like in Buddhism, you create your own misery. So I'll tell these people, well, yeah, but you create your own misery. And their first thing is, oh, it's not that easy. Think about it. Think about the many times in your life that you've been having a crappy day, a crappy week, crappy month, no inspiration, depressed, sad, whatever. And all of a sudden somebody says to you quickly, hey, let's go to Dairy Queen and get an ice cream. And you lighten up. And all of a sudden everything's joyous and wonderful, and you're satisfied and happy, and you're looking forward to that ice cream. It's the energy you just created. Positive energy. And I know a lot of people are like, hey, ice cream? Yes. Something as simple as ice cream. Something as simple as if you have a home that's filled with sadness and stress, and you're in a relationship that sucks, and one of your best friends calls you up and says, hey, let's go for a drive. And you just long for it, and you look forward to it. Even if it's something as simple as just going for a drive around, your city, your state, the woods, the beach, and magically you're just content again. It's almost like you've reset until you go back to that point again, and you're miserable again. So that's when you need to start realizing, how do I change my misery? Oh, it's not that easy, Jimmy. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And how do you do that? I'll tell you how. The way you do it is by energy, by starting to generate slowly, but generate more of a positive energy deep inside, and slowly bringing it out. So let's take, for example, I'm gonna pick a friend who shall remain nameless, who is in a relationship that this person is not happy with, and this has been going on out for a little while now. So this person, I tend to speak to this person and say, you should do this and you should do that, because that's what we do. We care, and sometimes, we offer too much, but this person's thing is, oh, but I'm not gonna be able to afford to move out. I'm not gonna be able to afford to do this. How do I do this, and how do I do that, and how do I do that? And I'm like, well, the way you do this is by resetting everything. And literally, if you need to, get a notebook, get a piece of paper, or get a board, a big board, and just start writing. That's the vision thing. We are doing a vision board. Workshop, also at the Grove. To look that up, go to skullandmoon.com. That's an upcoming event in January, which would be great for everybody. Trust me, I've been doing it for years, and I've been able to connect with almost everything on my vision board. And after I get to a certain point that you start looking at it and it just doesn't inspire you anymore, I've created another one. Boom, again, connect with all of those things. So it's possible, because I actually, from experience, have done it, and I know of people who have done it. So it does work for people who think it's just a new age mumbo jumbo. It's not. But this person, like many of you, put those obstacles in front of you. It's like, oh, but I want to leave this relationship, but it's not that easy. What about the home? What about this? What about that? I hate my job. My boss is an ass. But I can't just leave. And it's like, well, here's the magic of honing your energy and starting to manifest what you want. And it's basically by saying, okay, these are my plans. Now remember, we are a society of taking the pill to solve everything. Well, that's bullshit. That doesn't work. You do have to put some work into it. You want to lose weight, you got to go to the gym. Sorry. You want to lose weight, you have to eat a little bit better. You want to lose weight, you know what? Before you join the gym, because everybody joins the gym in January, and by February nobody goes there anymore, be realistic of your needs. Stop trying to be like your neighbors. Stop trying to do what the TV tells you. Think for yourself. That's such an important line that a lot of people don't do. They think like others. You know your strengths, you know your weaknesses. There's nothing wrong with them. Follow them. So if you know that you're not a gym type of person, don't join the gym to lose weight. So now you're like, well, how am I supposed to lose weight? Baby steps. If you love to eat cake every night, eat a smaller piece. Notice I didn't say stop eating it. I didn't say starve yourself. I said eat a smaller piece. Be realistic. When you do that, you create a more relaxed platform that you can accept and you can deal with. So start doing those things now. Again, you're manifesting slowly by creating that energy. So it's like, all right, what can I do? Let me start walking around my yard. And you're like, what? Most of you don't even do that. Walk around your yard. Then walk around your block. And take time. I'm not, this isn't I'm going to do this on Monday, and by January 15th I have to lose 60 pounds because that's again, bullshit. Baby steps. Let's be realistic here into 2020. So, get your board or get your paper or come to our vision board workshop and just be realistic. Like, what would I like to do? I would like to be more of a reader. Like, that's my thing. I love to read, but it's like I never make the time. And I have books everywhere. And if it was up to me, I'd want to read a book a day. But you have to make the time. So my thing is I try to schedule that 3-4 hour window during my day, and it doesn't happen. So I don't read at all. And it's annoying. Instead of saying, just read for 15 minutes. I actually watched a video a couple months ago that's what they said, that a lot of these millionaires and successful people in business, they will read 15 to 20 minutes a day. That's it. The thing is, we tend to go overboard. We have never gone to the gym, so all of a sudden we want to go to the gym every day. We want to work out like Rocky. We want to do boxing. We want to do this. We want to do that. And by February 1st, it's all fizzled out, all done. And then we're disappointed with ourselves. We're unhappy with ourselves. And we're more depressed than when we started. Baby steps. Take it slow. So begin to manifest. Create that energy. And just focus on the small things, the baby steps. Be realistic. On your vision board or on a sheet of paper or on your refrigerator or in your bathroom mirror. You could write the things that are most important to you, and then the things that aren't, but that you would like to see changed. So, for example, something like me wanting to read more, um, making more time for the gym, spending more time with family. It's a balance. And the tough part about life, really, if you think about it, is finding that balance. Because we always end up tipping too much. We spend too much time at work, or too much time with like a boyfriend or girlfriend, and then we don't want to work, or we don't do stuff around the house because we get home and we're like, oh my God, I'm just too tired. Well, when people start saying that, it's because you're off. Your balance is off. You should be better grounded. You should have better balance and be able to do things little by little, and just a little bit a day. Again, not go overboard. So like that's why I mentioned walking around the yard, walking around the block. On a crappy cold day, go to the mall. I hate the mall. I don't go to the mall. I go to the mall at least maybe once every 10 years. And I'm not kidding. But realistically, going to a mall to just walk works out. It's great. What I've been doing to help me read actually is going to a library and physically sitting down somewhere where I'm not going to hear the dogs barking, the front door doorbell ringing. I'm just in that zone, and it works for me. It's just, again, you try to think what you want it to happen. What can you do to make it happen? That's that simple. But again, don't ask me. Don't ask other people. Go inward. This always goes back to going inward. Who are you? Think about that. I want you to really reflect on that. Who are you? What are your needs? What do you want to see change? Do you want, 2019 to end, 2020 to begin? Like every year, it starts off and everybody's like, this year I'm going to be this, and this year I'm going to do that. And then it's 2020 ending to 2021, and then 22, and then 23. And then before you know it, we're at 25. I mean, to me, I'm sorry, but I remember the millennium yesterday. And it's just, it amazes me. The millennium was yesterday. And, you speak to certain people and, they're the ones with the big dreams. And it's like, well, what have you done towards it? Oh, I don't have time. Well, the bottom line is you also have to be realistic that if you really, really, really want something, and think about this, the seriousness of, the depth of what I'm saying. If you really, really want something, you will get it. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's not, no, think about it. Really think about it, because I've done it millions of times. And, you have your mind set on something, and this is what I'm doing. And then all of a sudden that door magically opens up that you can actually go through and accomplish something quickly. It's amazing how you find the money, you find the time, you find the support, and you go through that door. Because that's what you really, really, truly, deeply wanted. And it's sad because a lot of people will say stuff like, well, I want to be a millionaire. Are you willing to work for it? Are you willing to sacrifice for it? All of the world's biggest millionaires, billionaires, especially now that there's more billionaires than ever in the world, they didn't play the lottery. They didn't. Nothing against playing the lottery, but they hustled. And they failed, and they failed, and they failed, and they failed. And then they hustled, and because it's something they really, really wanted. Now think about it. I would like for you to take a moment and think about that. What are the things in your life that you've accomplished, like truly accomplished, succeeded at, done, that you realize that, damn, I put 600% towards that goal, and I accomplished it, because every single day I did something, the smallest thing, one small thing every day towards accomplishing that goal, and you got it done. In 3 months, in 3 years, but you got it done. Then you have the things that, everybody wants to do. We all want to do that. Oh, I want to parachute. Oh, I want to do this, but you won't call the school. You won't make the connection, because it's things that we all want to do, but we don't really want. So again, manifest. How do you manifest? You manifest by putting the energy there. Putting the energy there every day, even if it's just for like a couple minutes a day. Or let's say, for example, I'm going to throw something really odd out there. So let's say you want to own a car wash. I only say this because I just recently heard the song Car Wash. You want to own a car wash. Well, to own a car wash, You have to physically first find out what it takes to run a car wash, the machines that go into running a car wash, locations that are good. Find out what car washes do well in your neighborhood, what car washes don't do well. If you live in a northern area, is it too cold to have a car wash? Are you in Seattle where it rains all the time? Do you want to have a car wash? But as bizarre as this is, I'm just doing it because it'll help you remember. A car wash. Okay, so you want to own a car wash because you're good at detailing cars. Okay, so now here's the monkey wrench. Are you good at management? Are you good at running a business? Because see, that's the thing with a lot of businesses. Businesses, like, you can be a great plumber, but can you run a plumbing business? You could be a doctor, an awesome doctor. Can you run a medical practice? Those are things that we tend to not pay attention to. So just because you could do one thing doesn't mean you could do other things. I have a friend now who, I'm not going to go into exactly what he does, but he did he let's just say he fixes things, and he did this for years, and he was very good at it. And he purchased a business where now he's a supervisor fixing things. Problem with that is that's management. You're running a business. You're ordering supplies. You have staff now. You're scheduling. So again, this goes way back to being realistic of your goals. I used to laugh when people say, "Oh, you can be whatever you want to be." To a degree. My background was in animals my whole life. I'm one of your typical kids that I wanted to be a vet, until I learned that you have to deal with death. It's not just dealing, playing with puppies and kittens. You're dealing with death. I was the chief animal control officer for a very large city, and just like that, a lot of people also thought, "Oh, that's a great job. You get to hang out with animals." I didn't. I did drug raids. I went into DOAs where I had to deal with animals that were in the home where their owners had passed away, and police really didn't want to go in until they knew that the house was secure. So I had to go in. These are the hard truths of a lot of these jobs. People tend to look at, when they're looking for a job, they tend to look at, like, what's the salary? And it's like, no, my thing is, what's the responsibility? Am I willing to work 24/7? Am I willing to take emergency calls? Am I willing to sometimes not get paid my overtime, or not have the correct uniform or the correct stuff? So it's the big picture of your plans. So as you're doing this planning, again, please be realistic. Really, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but like I said, it works for Melissa. Write it down. Step 1, what is it I want to do? Do I want to lose weight? Well, what is entailed in wanting to lose weight? What am I willing to do? What am I not willing to do? When you do this, I promise you, you will lose the weight if you're realistic about your plan. Or changing your job. It's like, I hate my job. What am I supposed to do? It's okay, so get another job. But society just says, screw it, quit. Why would you want to do that? I mean, if you're in an abusive job and your boss is a piece of crap and he's disrespectful, but even then, what you do again is you put your energy out. So every single day when you get home, start looking through the paper, start looking through Indeed. And I know a lot of people are like, but I'm not finding anything. But trust me, when you're putting it out into the universe, you're putting the energy out into the universe, it will come. The doors will open. Synchronicity begins. It's a beautiful thing. Time and time again, I have proven it over and over and over. If you'd love to, I would love to have coffee with you and blow your mind at the amount of things that have happened to me that I still get goosebumps, that I think about. It's just, now I want to work with energy healing, and I want to do Reiki. And my thing was, I would like to begin by doing animal Reiki, because animals are what I know and love very, very, very well. And all of a sudden, one phone call for animal Reiki, another phone call for animal Reiki. Pet Value in Guilford contacts me. Hey, you want to come do animal Reiki? And I'm like, really? But it's the energy again. It's the energy that you're putting out there. It's just that, again, that people don't think that it exists, and it exists. It totally exists. It always exists. We're surrounded by that energy. We have auras. and we glow and we attract and we reflect at the same time. And again, it's I want to use the whole living positive, and which it is. It's just not living a shitty life. Right now, just think of your situation right now, wherever you are at this moment. Are you with somebody who's loving, caring, wonderful, positive, supports you? Or are you with somebody who's a piece of crap, who doesn't believe you, complains, who thinks you can't make it? My support system growing up was don't shoot for the stars, shoot for a job at a factory. And that's what I grew up with. And when I had told, when I used to tell that person, like, I want to get into the music business, I want to DJ, I want to tour, and I want to do all this stuff, they were just like, no, get a job in a factory. You could put in a good 30 years, you can have great support, blah, 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 pension, da, 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 da. And it's funny because during that time period, a lot of people that I know, my similar age, went to those jobs, and not bashing these jobs, obviously, but it's just a coincidence that all of them have been laid off. So who knows? It's hit or miss. You never know. But it is what you are. And I mean, to do that, you could actually, I'm going to throw this in, you could do astrology. At Skull and Moon, we do astrology. And a lot of people hear that and they just think, again, new age bull crap. And it's like, no, we can do stuff for you. We could read your chart in a way that we blow your mind. But the thing is, it's, the problem with astrology is people assume it's the whole, I'm an Aries, so all Aries are the same. I'm a Taurus, all Taurus are the same, blah, blah, blah. It's not, that's not the way it works. Astrology is based on you. Again, it's how special you are. It's a photo, a picture of the moment you were born and where everything was in space that says who you are. I mean, I recently had lunch with a friend of mine who anti everything, and I just and I don't really share this stuff, but again, it's the end of the new year, and I think I want to share. I want to spread love. I want to spread kindness and peace and compassion. And even if one of you listens to this and contacts me and goes, hey, we should talk, maybe I could change your life. That's what I want to do, because so many wonderful people have changed my life and have inspired me. So I want to give that back 140%, 45%, every day more, because it's so rewarding. It's finding your niche. It's what it's about for me. For me, I thought it was something else. I was chasing a dragon which just didn't exist, and now it's like wanting to help, wanting to heal, wanting to support, wanting to inspire. I love it. I love it, and it just makes me feel great. If I could just bring a smile to somebody's face. So this person didn't astrology, total crap. There's no way somebody could tell me my future. And he wasn't even like a church going type of person. And he was just, he believes in, he's open-minded in general, but still was like, that's nonsense. And I was like, okay, give me your time of birth, your exact time of birth. And was able to go through and blow his mind. And to the point that he's like, this can't be true. And it's like, it's